Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to make Bhuna or egg curry. This is a really simple dish to make and one of the first things I learned to cook when I was probably about 11 years old. It's really easy to put together. You basically make a really nice rich gravy and boil some eggs, and then you fry the eggs off and put them in the gravy. Really delicious and simple. It literally takes about half an hour to make. So this curry is actually popular all over South Asia, but I'm going to show you the traditional Bangladeshi version that we make at home, and it's really great for a quick easy meal, or when you want something spicy but you don't have the time or the inclination to make a full-blown curry. So let's get started. So here's what we'll need for our egg curry. I've got 10 medium to large eggs, which I've boiled for about 12 minutes, so hard-boiled eggs. 2 medium onions sliced. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1.5 teaspoon of chili powder. 1 teaspoon of paprika. 2/3 of a teaspoon of turmeric. 1 teaspoon of cumin and 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. And then I've got a small handful, or about 3 tablespoons of chopped fresh coriander, 6 whole green chillies and 2 small bay leaves, but you can use 1 large. And here a small 2/3 of a small ramekin of oil, which is about 6 tablespoons. So we've got our hard-boiled eggs here, which, as I mentioned, have been boiled for about 12 minutes and then cooled and peeled. These are medium to large eggs, so make sure you use fairly large ones, not small eggs. I'm going to just gently slice them like that, to take a sharp knife, and then just go down from the top to the bottom, leaving about a centimetre or so gap until you go all the way around. And make sure not to press in too much, so just on the surface of the egg. So basically we're just scoring the egg rather than cutting through, and do that with all of them. So make sure your knife is fairly sharp so you don't have to press too hard. If you do, your egg will become dismantled. So just slice all of them or score all of them like this. The reason why we're scoring these is because we're going to lightly coat them in turmeric before frying them, and that gives them a really nice glow, but also creates really nice crispy edges on that side of the egg, which I think tastes amazing. Who doesn't like extra crispy bits? If you don't feel confident doing this, then you can leave them as they are, and then just fry them, coat them in the turmeric and just fry them off. So we've got 2/3 of a teaspoon of turmeric here, so what we're going to do is literally add about 1/3 to the egg. And what you do is coat them. If you have a bowl, it's easier, then you just kind of swivel them around in the bowl, or you can just do it like this. So I've scored and coated the eggs in the turmeric. You can see the thin long lines across them, and they've been coated very nicely in the turmeric. So now we're going to get started with the frying. So take a large frying pan and put the heat on medium-high. Make sure to have a lid ready, because sometimes when you're frying the eggs, they may sputter, so you don't want hot oil on you. And what we're going to do is add the oil. And heat up the oil for about a minute or so. So once the oil is hot, we're going to add the eggs to the oil. So just take the plate to the side and add them. with a wooden spoon and gently stir them around. You want to break the eggs, and the frying will take about 3 minutes or so. What we want is a really nice light golden outside on the egg. We've got the lid here and we're frying the eggs just to kind of shield ourselves from sputtering hot oil. So make sure you have a lid available. The eggs are almost done. It's been about 2 minutes. Just going to fry them a little bit longer. So the eggs are fried. You can see that they've turned a nice golden colour. So they're not deep golden, just a light golden. You can fry them a little bit longer if you want. This has taken about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So now we're going to remove the eggs and get on to the next step. You can see on this one that they've turned nice and golden. This is what they should look like, lightly golden all over. Got the last one. Place them all on a plate. Now we're going to go on to the next step. We've still got the oil in the pan, so we don't need any more. It's quite enough, and we're going to start frying off the onions. So place the heat back on to medium high and add the onions. Add the salt and the bay leaves. And now we're going to saute this for 5 to 7 minutes until they're translucent and very lightly golden. The onions have been cooking for about 5 minutes now. You can see they've taken on a really nice golden colour. So I'm just going to add 100 millilitres of water to this. Give it a little stir, and what I'm going to do is cover it with the lid now and cook this for a couple of minutes just to soften the onions further. After adding the water and covering with the lid, we cook the onions for another 4 or 5 minutes. You can see they've become quite soft and golden, and what we're going to do now is add the ground spices. And put the flame to medium now and stir this for about a minute or so. And to make sure that you cook out the ground spices, otherwise you'll be left with a raw taste. Now we're going to add 200 milliliters of water, just over. So we've added 250 milliliters of water to this. Now we're going to bring this to a simmer. So turn the heat up slightly, and once it comes to a simmer, we're going to cover it with a lid and cook for 2 to 3 minutes. So our gravy has been cooking for another 4 minutes after we added the water. You can see it's coming along really nicely. Oil is rising to the surface. So it's time now to add our eggs. So place the eggs on top of the gravy and just make sure they're evenly on top. The flame should be medium-low now. So add the green chilies and add most of the chopped coriander. We're going to reserve a little bit of that for the garnish. And we're going to add the rest of the water. So this is 150 milliliters of water. Just add this to the side. Now bring this to a simmer over medium heat. Give it a little gentle stir. You don't want to break the eggs. Now we're going to cover with the lid. Put the heat down to medium-low and cook this for a few more minutes. So after we added the second lot of water, we cooked the eggs for 5 minutes covered. You can see there's a nice rich gravy and the eggs have soaked in some of that sauce, so they look really nice and golden. So it's time to serve up. Got a nice serving dish. So look how nice the eggs look, nice and golden. They've soaked up some of that masala or gravy. I've garnished it with the remainder of the coriander, and this is going to pair perfectly with some steamed white rice. So guys, let's give this a try. It smells amazing. I can smell the coriander, the green chilies, all the spices, the slightly kind of fried eggs and caramelized onions. So I'm going to taste a bit here. Delicious. Let's try a little bit of the egg white. This is my favourite bit, personally. Really nice. The more fried that's like, the better. You can taste all the spices, the green chilies, the coriander, and I know it's going to pair perfectly with some rice. So that's dinner sorted for tonight. So guys, if you like this recipe, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share, and do check out my cookbook, which is linked below, and I shall see you next time.